Okay, we're rolling.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you. Hope you're doing well. We are talking about podcasting confidence and creating a more confident podcasting mindset. I think as podcasters, we can be a little bit shy and a little bit reserved. We don't want to come across as a know-it-all. We don't want to come across as somebody who's like, look at me, I am so smart, I have a podcast. We want to kind of just play it, kind of downplay that a little, and we don't want to push people away and come off too full of ourselves, right? As I notice, there's sometimes in podcasting, podcasters can become quite self-absorbed over time because we hear ourselves, we record, we're in a bubble, and we just kind of start focusing inward, not so much outward. I know that you're not going to do that. You're going to keep your podcast focused on an audience. You're not here to inflate your ego. You're here to build up an audience and a community and serve. Your podcast is better than that. But I find that in the absence of not wanting to come across as some kind of egotistical, full of themselves type personality as a podcaster, we actually go kind of the complete opposite, and we downplay and we make ourselves little. And I think as podcasters, we need to have an element of confidence, not arrogance, but confidence, that people coming to our show can feel. We're passionate about what we talk about. We love our audience. We love our content. We love our show. And we put our best time and effort into it. And we should be proud of what we're doing. Again, not in an arrogant way, not as a look at me way, but we really believe that what we're doing matters. And we need to be confident in that. And I think that we as podcasters, we need to command our audience and the connection we have with our audience. We talk about in this little 3-part little mini series that we need to walk into the room like we own the place. This is our podcast. We own the place. This is ours, right? Doesn't belong to anybody else. It belongs to me. I own this show. This is my show. And I've been here before. Like, even if I only have one episode, this is my second episode, I've been here before. This is my place. People will pick up on that energy, that confidence, that even though you're not an expert on everything, this is your show. And I think we need to lean into that as podcasters. And I don't hear a lot of podcast gurus talk about this. So I think we need to talk about it and encourage you to be confident in your show. Because confidence radiates. And people are attracted to people who belong where they are. And when they walk in the room, people kind of notice them. Think of a wedding, for example. The couple comes into the room and everyone's gathered to celebrate. And the moment they walk through the door, all the attention turns to them. Why? It's their day. They own the room. We're all here for them. That feeling, right? They're not arrogant in that moment. They're confident. They just got married. We're here to celebrate. Own your podcast. Own your audience. Own your content. Own your show. So that when you walk into the room virtually, as we create the episodes and people press play, this is my space. This is my spot. You're here with me. You're my audience, and I'm thrilled you're here. Let's talk about this more. Instead of coming into your podcast going, welcome to my show. If you like it, I hope you stay. If you like what we do here, I hope that you might might tell somebody about it. I'm not going to ask you to do that, but if you wanna support the show, maybe you could, if you don't mind, buy me a coffee. Wait, I feel really weird saying that, so maybe don't do that. But maybe you should buy me a coffee because it's expensive to create podcasts. I know you probably don't want to do that, but it would really help. But I don't want to ask, or leave a rating and review. Well, rating and reviews don't matter, so I should probably stop asking for that. If you want to send me a message, you don't have to, but that's not confident. That's not confident. That is you shrinking yourself so that you don't come off as arrogant. in your mind, or this show is all about me. There are podcasts about podcasting where the show is all about the host. And they remind you every few seconds how important they really are. And for me, those push me away because I don't need your accolades. I don't need your awards. I don't need all the things that make you who you are. And I don't need a constant reminder of how great you think you are. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the idea that when you ask your audience for something, step up. Step up to the plate. There's a lot of podcasters who are swinging the bat for their podcast, but they're not even at the plate. They're just kind of off where the plate doesn't even matter. And we got to step up to the plate here and take a swing. People need to know that this is your show and that you're in charge here. Your guests need to feel directed. The guest needs to feel safe that you have them. I got you. I got you in this interview. I got you. I'll take care of everything. You're safe here. Your audience needs to know they're safe here as well. That you're only going to bring on guests that matter. You're only going to talk about things on your show that will help them. You're not going to waste their time. Your confidence in your content, in your guest selection, in how you do your show, the length of your show, how often you do your show. Every part of what you do should radiate confidence to your audience so that they feel like you got control of this. The last thing you want to do is get on a bus and the bus driver jumps off or climbs into the back of the bus while the bus is rumbling down the road. Somebody's got to drive this thing, and it better be you. We need to command the audience connection as well. I want you to jump into every episode believing and demonstrating that this room is yours. So every listener feels personally invited, personally acknowledged, and welcomed to the show. Like you. Thank you for being here. Like regulars at a signature event, people need to feel like they belong. And speak directly to your audience. Things like, you know this struggle. You've dealt with this before. And here's how you fix it. You know it's hard to start a podcast. You know it's hard to get past your imposter syndrome. You know what it's like. Here's what I did to help. Speak to them and speak directly to people. Keep it conversational. Add in some lively tangents and step outside of your content for a second and show people the real you. Get away from the script and focus on connection more than just the content. It's the connection piece that really matters in podcasting. Try what works for my show is I break things up into segments. You'll hear the little swooshes and things that we do. Things like this just break up the content. So it's not just a big wall of words, but there's something happening. There's beats here. And it helps people kind of bring them back into the conversation if their mind tends to wander. You're probably doing something else right now while you're listening to this. And for me to bring you back to the episode, we need these resets. We need these things that kind of bring us back to, okay, what were we listening to? What did I miss? We need that. We need to own and control all the aspects of the content so that our audience comes and stays with us the entire time. Here's one of those swishes. As part of controlling and commanding our audience connection, think about building in through your show a sense of belonging for your audience where they feel like they really belong to you and to the show. And you can do that by just being vulnerable, by putting yourself out there and sharing kind of like that behind the mic things that happen in your show. Being open and honest, telling your own story, not just everyone else's story, but telling your own story and allowing people to see the person behind the mic. Even if you don't do video, they should have a connection point with you. They should have the ability to connect and interact with you through the show and outside of the show. And by you just being open and owning your path in life, I think it helps your show grow. I think it helps to draw the people into your show who listen to your podcast. It It makes them feel like they're part of the community, not just a listener. It helps to foster loyalty from them as a listener. Like they're kind of like an insider. They're part of the crew. They're kind of like all backstage pass type thing. And it helps to build the loyalty from a listener's perspective. Because again, this is your show. This is your audience. And again, it doesn't come from a place of arrogance. It comes from a place of confidence. If you wrestle with confidence in life, it's going to show up on your mic. It's going to show up in how you show up. So if you're not a confident person in general, outside of podcasting, here's something for you to work on, is to come up with something that will help you to get closer to a more confident approach, not only to life, but also to your podcast. As we wrap up, think about this as far as confidence. Confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence instead is, I'll be fine if they don't. Be confident. Be confident in yourself. You got this. And if you need any help, reach out to me at howtopodcast.ca. It's time to command the audience connection and create a more confident podcasting mindset. You got this. I know you do. See you tomorrow. So here at the How to Podcast series, we love to hear from you. You might think that we get a lot of feedback. Man, we don't. We don't get a lot because people just feel like, why bother? Like, why? Does Dave really care what I have to say? And I do. I actually do really care what you have to say. I love your input. I love hearing from you. And we've started a survey for our listening audience, which includes you right here, right now. And I'd love, love, love for you to head over to howtopodcast.ca. And you'll see our survey right there on our website. And take a few minutes, come through, answer the thoughtful questions we're asking of you to make the show better. Not just for you, but for everyone. Your feedback is really going to help shape the show. And I selfishly just want to hear from you. So if you're thinking, Dave probably already knows what I think, I don't. I really don't. I'm not good at reading minds. My wife will confirm that completely. So I don't really know what you think of the show. I don't know if you like it, if you like how long the show is, how long the episodes are, that Dave's doing 365 episodes in a year. Oh my gosh. Like, I would love to hear from you and get your thoughts on this very show right here. So head over to howtopodcast.ca, click on our survey link. It's also in the show notes for every episode, in the most recent episodes, and I'd love to hear from you. So as a listener of this here very show, your feedback can make this show so much better. So much better. And I'm not drowning in emails and voice messages and speak pipes and buy me a coffees right now. So I'm putting the ask out to you right now, as a listener of the show, and you're still here, that you take a moment, head over to our website, click the link in the show notes for any episode, and go to our survey and let us know your thoughts about this show, how it could be better, and what you love, and what you're like, Dave, can you stop doing this? That would be really helpful. Thanks for being here and being part of the How to Podcast family. See you over at howtopodcast.ca. Talk soon. Thanks for being here. Bye. You're still here. Amazing. Okay, a question from a podcaster I'm working with right now was about the length of the episodes of the podcast and how long the episode should be. They are a solo hosted podcast. They don't have guests at this point, maybe never. And they have a business podcast. So they were asking how long should the episodes be? So one of my questions back to them, I like to always answer a question with a question. It's kind of a thing that I like to do. I ask them then, how long does your listener have to listen to the episode? And they're like, I don't know who my listener is. Well, that uncovered a problem. So we need to dig into that a little bit more. But then like picture your ideal audience member, and where do you picture them listening to this podcast? Like on their commute, during the lunch break, on the weekends, in the evenings, early morning as they're getting ready. And then how long does it take to do the thing you're imagining them doing while they listen to your show? I said, your show's new, like hasn't even launched yet, so you're just kind of guessing at this point. But based on your ideal listener, who you want to reach with this show, what are they doing when they listen to your podcast? And let's build it there. And then what we'll do then is come back after 10 episodes, look at your retention rates, look at your location of the people that are listening to the show, all of the analytics and stats we see on Apple and Spotify, on YouTube, and in your hosting site. We'll take all 4 of those buckets, and we will decide if the episodes are too long, too short, and if we're reaching the audience that you want to reach. Because we'll see the age groupings for your listener. We'll be able to see, in some places, gender of your listener. So are you speaking to men? Are you speaking to women? Are you speaking to everybody? There's a lot of information we'll get after 10 episodes. But right now, it's your best guess. And I don't think you need to do a podcast episode that's the same length every episode. I don't think that's meaningful for anyone. Make the episode as long as the content needs to be. That's it. That's all you will do. Just create the episode so that there's nothing in the episode that shouldn't be there. And make it as long as it needs to be, but not any longer, not any shorter. And then we'll measure, test and measure. Record, test, measure. Record, test, measure. And over time, you'll really hone in on who your audience is. So there's no ideal time. I would say the one thing to keep in mind is I think for most part, 60 seconds is counted as a listen. It's pretty much an industry standard. On YouTube, I think a millisecond is counted. So there's a difference there. So don't go any less than 60 seconds. Don't do a 30-second podcast because you might not get any measured listens, possibly. So at least a minute. 24-hour podcast is too long. So somewhere in between. How about that? But if you have any questions about this, reach out to me anytime. Love to help you. Howtopodcast.ca. Thanks for being here. Take care.